in Syria, peace may be on the horizon. The world welcomes a US-Russia brokered draft deal that would see a cessation of hostilities from February the 27th. Well, for more on that deal, Abdulrahman Alsarraj joins me now. He's the chief editor of TurkPress, which posts Turkish news in Arabic, and joins me in the studio here on TRT World. Thank you very much for your time. We've seen attempts then at ceasefires or cessation of hostilities, whatever you want to call them, in the past. Do you think this one's different?
Well, the only difference is that it comes after a big, massive bombardment by the Russian forces, upon which the Syrian regime forces gained ground. But other than that, there's not much difference. The al-Nusra is excluded, ISIS is excluded, and the other opposition forces are asked to sign up to the agreement by the midday of next Friday. And the cessation of hostilities would start by the midnight. We'd have to wait and see, actually.
Bearing in mind what you just said and how things on the ground have changed with the Syrian regime making advances, do you think that makes them more likely to agree to a ceasefire because militarily they've achieved what they wanted?
Well, exactly. Actually, it is estimated that the Russian fire share of the whole fire that is fired on the ground is about 60%. And 20% is by the Iranian forces and 10% by the regime forces. So 90% of the fire that was actually fired on the ground are by this particular side. So will they abide? Will they comply? It is actually, and I think there is a margin left for them that we're still not sure about, because, you know, the al-Nusra is excluded, and ISIS and any other terrorist group defined or specified by the UN Security Council. So will you keep bombing any area and saying there's Nusra here, Nusra there? We're still not sure about that.
Do you get the sense, though, that there is more political will on both sides for a ceasefire right now?
Well, I'm not sure about that either, because it is based on security, the Security Summit in Munich statement, and on Geneva communique and on Vienna communique. So these communiques, they were all agreed by the same parties. Why would this communique guarantee more, give us more assurance that this will be implemented? I'm still not sure about that.
And one other aspect, or another aspect of everything, the fighting on the ground in Syria, is Turkey's shelling of YPG forces in northern Syria. What impact do you think this cessation of hostilities is going to have on that?
According to the new agreement, Turkey will have to join the new task force. This task force will manage the ceasefire and manage the communication between each side, and the bombardment that will continue, that is legit by this new agreement. But again, YPG is not excluded. The only excluded parties are Jabhat al-Nusra and ISIS. If Turkey managed to convince the UN Security Council to regard YPG as a terrorist organization, maybe they will continue the bombardment. But this will not happen. I don't think that this will happen, because YPG is an ally of Russia, which is a major co-author of this new agreement.
Okay, Abdulrahman, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.